Hello, I'm Alex Mansfield with Manny Things, and welcome to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting, the show where I talk to individuals all across the shooting industry. We'll talk competition, self-defense, concealed carry. If you enjoy this content, check out our YouTube channel, Manny Things. Without further ado, let's get to this episode. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Manny Talks Shooting, the show where I talk to whoever I want to in the shooting industry. But first, today's sponsored show is brought to you by Go Fast Don't Suck. You can go get cool shirts, t-shirts, hats, stickers, that cool banner. Bill made that too. So go check out gofastdon'tsuck.net. Without further ado, let's get to today's topic. We're sitting down with Mr. Logan Saunders. How you doing today, sir?
What's going on? Thanks for having me.
You're very welcome on coming on. If you don't know, you're living under a rock then. 357 Souls on Instagram. So stop now, pause this, go to Instagram, and go hit that follow button.
Appreciate your support.
Yep. But Logan, how you been doing?
Good, man. Trying to get into some matches, but they keep getting canceled. So
they don't want you shooting heavy metal. That's the problem.
Every time I sign up, this has been like the better part of a year trying to shoot heavy metal, and every time I sign up for the match, either it gets canceled or something else comes up. Yeah, they just don't want me throwing $2 splits, $4 splits.
Yeah, that's expensive. I mean, I don't want to throw that kind of split money.
So what's cool? Back before Walmart went crazy with their ammo, do you remember that company ZQI?
Yeah. Yep.
So Walmart was liquidating all of their ZQI ammo, and 20 round boxes of 308 were going for $6. I bought like 1,000 rounds. It was insanely cheap.
That's true. That would have been nice to have right now, but no, everyone's paying up the asshole for ammo. So
it's like $50 something for a box of 20 now.
Yeah, I will say I'm glad I was able to get into reloading when I did, because I wouldn't be shooting if I couldn't reload.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's definitely I don't know. I don't know what I do without shooting now, honestly, either, though, even though I don't shoot that much compared to everybody else.
I just wish I had found it sooner. I was 34, 35, somewhere in there when I found USPSA, and now I'll be 39 in October. So I feel like my whole life's been a waste. I wish I'd been competing the whole time.
Damn right. Yeah. Just think about it. If we were shooting at the age of 12, like JJ.
Yeah. So when I was like a kid, my dad took me to what was the name of that shooting range? It's some shooting range. I'm from upstate New York, but it was rimfire pistol, and they stood, sideways with their hand in their pocket as target 22. He took me to a couple of those matches, but I was too young to, understand or appreciate it, and wasn't into it at all. So, and there was no USPSA. I'd never even heard of it.
Yeah, I never heard about it until a couple of years ago when I found some, big into the self-defense kind of stuff, the carry crap. And then they're saying, like, you need to go, like, Sky Jedlinski was like, if you want to be better, you got to go shoot USPSA. And then the rabbit hole went. And
no,
he's not too far from where you live, somewhere in there.
I think he's in Northern Virginia.
Yeah.
You're talking about Modern Samurai Project or whatever?
Yeah.
I think he's in Northern Virginia.
Yeah, he used to be a big gamer until his classes took off. Now he has no time to shoot matches because he's shooting, like, teaching a class like every weekend of the year.
No.
But yeah, so you said your dad took you to some 22 matches back in the day?
Yeah, I want to say is Greenwich, which is upstate New York, but it's like you put one hand in your pocket and stand sideways and shoot target 22. He had a 22-45 with a scope on it. But I only went to like one or two matches with him. He didn't go that often. He was super busy anyway. But I just, like I said, I was too young to understand or appreciate what he was doing, competing and all that stuff. So
yeah. And then you said you found what, USPSA like 4 years ago?
So it's actually, I have a sob story, man. So my very first competitive match was an outlaw steel match about 10 minutes from my house. And I showed up with like a thigh rig, no mag pouches. It was the 4th of July in 2015. And I had to sit my mags on the barrel or whatever because I didn't have any pouches. And the guy actually like yelled at me. He's like, we have a website with the rules for a reason and blah, blah, blah. He was like, nasty to me. So like I took my ball and went home, and I never shot another match until 2017. I went 2 years without shooting another match. I was completely turned off, And then I started shooting production at USPSA, and I really went into it. I shot a couple matches in 17, like maybe 7 or 8 matches in 18, and then 19 really took off. I shot almost 50 matches in 2019, so I consider like 3 full years of competing. I don't really count 17 and 18. I just went into it, wasn't doing it. So
yeah, and after production, you went hardball into the PCC land.
yeah, so I actually started with a Keltec sub 2000, tricked out with them carbo parts. And people get first of all, they get mad when you shoot PCC, but they get really mad when you beat them with a Keltec.
I mean, yeah, I've only seen one, but it didn't run. It wouldn't run.
So when it did run, it was great. When it didn't run, it wasn't great.
But you could almost say that for every PCC, though, right? Like they're great when they run.
Well, then I switched to a Sig MPX, and for like the first like 4,000 or 5,000 rounds, that thing was awesome. It was great. And then after 5,000 rounds, it just turns into a complete piece of crap. And I had a Gen 3, and the same thing happened. I sent it off to Sig. They tried to blame me, saying it was dirty. And I wrote back to them. I had pulled my bolt assembly and borrowed a friend's bolt assembly because they were saying the gas block was too clogged up. So the only thing I changed was my bolt assembly for my buddies, and it worked perfect for like 900 rounds, 2 majors. But they still tried to blame me, saying it was the gas, and I'm like whatever. So I sold that one. I had a second one, same thing, 4,000, 5,000 rounds that just tanks. So I sold both of them, and now when I do shoot PCC, it's a Brecky custom upper on a Foxtrot mic lower. So far it's run great.
How many rounds you got through that lower?
The Foxtrot mic?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like 600-700. It's fairly new, and like when I got that, I had already switched over to carry optics, so I barely shoot PCC anymore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been looking to dabble into PCC. Don't hold that against me, people. I mean, I got to do something for 2-gun matches because rifle ammo is expensive.
I hate to say this, but it's harder than people think. Like, so when PCC first came out, I think a lot of it was based on the open hit factors, and people were just getting GM like crazy. Mm-hmm. And I think that misnomer is still out there, that it's super easy to GM PCC, and it's not. It has its own hit factors now. Carrying that giant boat anchor around a stage, it's harder than people think. And people that dog it and then end up trying it, you'll talk to them later, and they're like, yeah, it is harder than you think.
Well, yeah, and you can't run the same way either. Like, movement on a stage is completely different with a rifle than it is running with a handgun.
I'm way faster. I would rather shoot a pistol on a stage all day long than with a PCC. But I will get back into it a little bit more. I'm waiting on a tax stamp for a PCC SBR. So I'm going to shoot a little bit of SBR PCC.
I don't think many people do that, to be honest with you.
No, the only one I know is Mike Sherritt. He shoots at like Sir Walter and stuff a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's what's that HK guy? There's like 2 HK guys. They shoot MP5 SBRs.
I don't even know. Do they shoot for HK?
Yeah, I can't think of the one guy's name. It's right on the tip of my tongue. He shoots it. There's 2 of them. They shoot SBR MP5s. I can't think. I'll think of it later, and I'll be like, "Oh yeah,
yeah." It'll come to us then, right? But no, I'm interested. Maybe I'll hit you back up about that Foxtrot mic lower, because I was looking at a Foxtrot mic for a while. Now I see Taryn came out with his new blinged out version of it.
Zach Smith, he says Foxtrot mics lowers are the best competition or PCC lowers you can get. And I got 2 of them now, and knock on wood, the first one's been great.
Yeah. You think that the Brecky custom upper is worth all its money?
I enjoy it. I haven't had any issues with it yet. But what's funny? It's like every time you see Max, he's got a completely different gun.
Mm-hmm. Got to change it up, right?
Like he'll get hot with a gun, and then as soon as you start getting into the same gun that he's got, next time you see him, his gun's completely different. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. But
you could stick a Keltec in his hand, and he'd still win nationals. So
yeah, that's true. He had a run for his money though before the end of day 3.
Oh, with Froelich.
Yeah, when Josh went home. Yeah,
that was a tough stage, man. I was super nervous about that stage. Practiced like crazy. I just I was super nervous I was going to DQ.
Yeah, that that definitely. I think a lot of people had that thought too.
And I'd practiced a certain way. So like when you beer can the mag in with your strong hand, you gotta flip it in the mag pouch, and like I completely forgot to flip it, and it still worked out, but I could have been a little bit faster.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I mean, everyone probably wishes they could take that stage back and be like, just give it back to me, do overs.
yeah.
But
you could tell it was 2 hits, but it was super close to a perfect double with the support hand only on one of the targets. I'm like, how'd that even happen?
I don't know. They tell you, you can spread those out. I hate that. I hate when people say that, but it's like one of those things like slow down and get your hits, right?
Oh yeah.
That's one of those drives. Now I've heard you say this a bunch of times. You haven't taken any formal training. Nope. You're just learning it by shooting freaking a bunch of matches with some killer dudes and the power of the Instagram.
Yeah, one of other than squatting with people and asking for advice and stuff like that is one of the biggest is YouTube and Instagram and social media. Like I just watch, all different kinds of shooters, and most people get wrapped up in the cadence of the shooting or the splits and stuff like that, but I'm paying attention to their movement, their entries, their exits, all of that stuff, like how they're exploding out of a position. Are they keeping the gun high? Are they pumping the gun high? Are they pumping the gun low? All sorts of different stuff. I could probably get into one of those, books like the Joel Park, Ben Stager book or whatever, but I just never have. And I'm not against classes. I'm really not. I'm just on this like solo journey of figuring it out. But eventually I'm going to hit a plateau or a brick wall where I'm just not progressing, and I'm going to have to, get with somebody else,
Yeah, because I know Tom Castro is going to bother you enough to do it at some point, right?
He has been forever. He stopped, recently. I don't know if he's given up on me or not, but for a while he's like, come on. But I've also been fortunate, I squad with Todd Jarrett a lot. I mean, he's one of the best in the entire sport. He's helped me a lot. Jason Roberts, Kevin Grosby. But one of the best ones has been Dylan Walker. He's a junior shooter. He's like, 15 now, but 13, 14, 15. I've learned so much from that kid. I have no ego. He's a phenomenal shooter. He's way better than me. I'll take advice from a 14-year-old kid all day long on shooting. He's a beast. I've beat him before, but it's super rare. I don't think I've ever beat him. Pistol. I've beat him rifle.
That's and it's kind of nice to be able to look at the younger generation, seeing that they're figuring it out and they're doing what works for them, and you can even learn something from them, even though they might not think.
Go ahead.
Even though you might not think you'd learn something from someone that young.
USPSA, it's one of them weird sports where you're directly competing against people, and they'll help you stage plan. They'll give you advice. Like it's a very tight knit, community. And that's why I think when you see like problems and stuff like that, it's because so many people care about the sport and are really into it. And you very rarely find people that, are jerks and just don't want to help you out. And everybody's in it together,
Yeah, we all want to win, but at the end of the day, it doesn't feel good to beat somebody because you gave them a crappy stage plan or something.
Yep.
Or their gun breaks, that's always the worst.
I've been there.
Yeah. Speaking of gun breaking, are you still using that Sig?
Which one?
You're still rocking those Legions, right?
Yeah. I'm actually pretty pumped. So like one of my biggest gripes with the Legions is the reset on the trigger. Like the trigger pull itself is great, but the reset is like a mile long. So I can't split with it very fast, But I'm trying not to say that as much. I say a ton lately, and I noticed myself saying I'm trying to work on it. But Dan Peltyberger, he shoots. Sorry if I butchered his name, but he shoots Sig Legion and Open. He's got it all tricked out and all that stuff. Well, he's figured out some kind of way to make the FCU better with the Keras triggers. So he's going to hook me up and hopefully fix that reset issue.
Yeah. So you're not going to ditch it. I mean, you have dumped enough in the mags and that crap.
I have so much money in those guns. This is the last this is the last resort. If these triggers don't help me, I'm done. I'm gonna move on. The Canic, I was gonna get the Canic Mate or whatever, but that Canic Rival that just came out looks super good.
Mm-hmm.
The trigger on it looks phenomenal. So
yeah, it does. And I was kind of sad when the Rival didn't come out when it was. Seems like they teased the Rival forever when the Mate came out. Now the Rival's finally, it's finally out. We'll see when it actually hits, So
I don't know what local gun stores are going to be, but online you can buy it for like $780.
Oh, that's not
so
bad.
let's just say 800 for the sake of the transfer and all that stuff. So 800 for the gun, probably another, $50-$60 for holsters, however many mags you're going to need, how much that costs. There's you're getting into like the $1,200-$1,300 range to switch guns. Oh, plus another optic.
Yep.
So I am super against trying to switch guns at this point, but I mean, I might have to give up on those Legions. They can only do so much for me, and if I switch the triggers and I still trash, it's just me. I can't. I guess I can't. I can't gear my way into getting better.
Yeah, but that is definitely a complaint of a lot of people. The reset on the Legions are just not that desirable.
I split terrible with those guns. I really do. The pull is nice, but the reset is atrocious.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you ever get that magnet to work?
No. So my two options are to buy a smaller belt. You talking about the DivTech?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's super nice, but it's just too small. So either cut a hole in the belt or go to a smaller belt.
Yeah, you like that. The Safariland Belt works out for you well, though.
Yeah. I shoot a bunch of different stuff, and I like being able to just pop the QLS or the ELS. QLS is the holster, the ELS is the pouches and stuff, but pop those in and out, and you can switch your configuration. It's super easy.
Mm-hmm.
I've had nothing but good luck with those Safarilands. They last long, they don't break.
As long as they send you the right pouch, right?
They blamed me for that, and they sent me a left-handed magnet pouch, and I had to send it back. And I thought they credited me, but I never saw it, and I forgot. I don't even know if they did or not. They might have just kept my $40.
Their holster, their website is atrocious too. Like I tried to buy like a level 2 holster. Well, they call it a level 1, with the ALS.
Yeah.
And they're like it wouldn't even let me check. Like it wouldn't even let me add it to the cart. I was like, what the fuck? And I had
I go there to check all the time. I just want a retention holster that's optic that supports optics. And like every time that says we don't have a compatible holster. Yep. I'm like, well, who are these people that are running Legions with dots that have ALS or they have level 2 retention? I don't know where they're getting their holsters from or which model.
Yeah. Yeah, and it was really confusing because how the holster will show up on their website, and it says on the bottom like the description of what guns fit in that holster, and then it says, "Oh, the gun builder says it won't work." I'm like, your fucking website's retarded. It's retarded.
It's not just you; it's me too.
Well, shit, and it really sucked is when I was gifted someone's 40% off Safariland code, and I was like, and then they couldn't use it. I was like, damn it.
Joe Farrell was handing those out, and somebody else was handing them out. I can't remember who it was.
I think it was Sean Burrows.
Yeah, Sean Burrow. My buddy Larry, he had like a $200 gift certificate and never even used it.
Did he pull that off the prize table?
Yeah. At
Larry
never even used it.
Damn Larry.
Yeah, he's still waiting on his so he won High Master at PCCCO Nationals, and the company, I guess, that was making the trophies can't make them anymore. So now they're going to somebody else, and it's going to be a different style of trophy than what was presented.
I was just listening to Kenzie's podcast today with Dexter Bradley, and he said the same thing. He still doesn't have his high military trophy yet.
Yeah, he's a beast too.
Fuck yeah, he is. Those AMU guys are scary.
Yeah, when their squad comes through, I'm like, Jesus.
Just think, like Travis was on the AMU. Who else was on the AMU?
Aaron Edens.
Oh yeah, Aaron. He's new to the AMU too, isn't he?
Yeah, dude, he just came up so fast. Like we were shooting locals, he shoots Sir Walter a ton. The next thing I know, he's going in the military, and then he's just, crushing these majors, like top finishes and majors. Beast.
Damn right he is. Now you travel all over your area. Like you go to North Carolina, Virginia. Do you go into Pennsylvania too regularly?
No, so it's on the list. I have a long-term goal of competing in USPSA in all 50 states, and it's going to be tough. I don't even know if it'll ever happen. I have 11 states right now. So Pennsylvania's on the short list, New York. The tough ones are going to be New York, Cali, Hawaii. Hawaii is like super strict with the gun stuff. I don't even know if they have a match out there. I think they do.
Yeah, like I think they have like a club probably.
There's probably one club with one match. I don't know. I haven't looked. But Pennsylvania, there's one of the majors coming up. It's only like 5.5 hours away. It's like the Western PA sectional.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, my computer shut off. Go light. So I'm going to try to sign up for the Western PA sectional and just drive up that day and shoot.
Yeah. That match actually had to change. That match. Well, no, not well. That match made one of the majors I'm working change weekends. So now it's in conflict with Area 3, which is crap. Yeah. But
I wanted to shoot Area 5, so I've shot Area 6, 7, and 8. So I want to get the other 5 knocked out. But 5 is in Michigan this year instead of Ohio, which is good for you. Mm-hmm. But Jason Clark lives in Atlanta, Georgia. It's like a 7-hour drive or something. It's like a 13-hour drive for me in Virginia. I don't understand how it's so much further for me.
I was talking to him last night about this shit. He asked me because he was thinking about it, and it's my home club. It's my local range. It's only 50 minutes from my house, but I can't shoot Area 5 now. So
why?
I've got I think it's
other commitment.
Yeah, family vacation, I think. I can't remember exactly what the wife said. So
no.
Which sucks is it's 50 minutes from my house. I'll probably be there setting up that week anyway, too, because I'll go after work and help the old fuckers set up because they need all the help they can get.
You said you're working what are you working?
Right now I'm working the Rhine Rocks Charity Blast, which is now August 12th through the 15th. And then what's the other match? Oh, the Mitten match. They now it was a low cap only match, but now it's 1 day low cap. So like Friday staff day, Saturday low cap, Sunday high cap.
Mm-hmm.
So they're all. I don't know why they just don't open it up and just call it the Mitten match and have high cap and low cap shoot the same day. But I think they're different matches now.
Right.
So I think there'll be 2 different, and it's a cash payout match, which I haven't seen them do that before. So I think division winners and class winners will win money based on division.
Right.
So that'd be kind of cool. So people get their money back. But
is Michigan a high cap state?
Yeah, we have no restrictions for magazines and stuff. So luckily for now, knock on goddamn wood. Fucking since we had that shooting in Oxford, they've been trying to.
Can y'all have SBRs and suppressors?
Oh yeah, we're a free state. Other than their stupid governor. So
I thought Virginia was going to turn that shooter in Virginia Beach or wherever it was. He had suppressors on 2 of his pistols, and they were talking that nonsense about banning suppressors in Virginia. I thought it was coming, and then it just kind of died.
Yeah. Other than them pushing for a magazine restriction, I think it died because that's all I've heard about it. But
yeah.
But I try to keep my ear to the ground, but I also can't filter through everything either. Too. It's too. Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. But yeah, we can have cool shit. The only shitty part is we do have a pistol registry. So whenever you buy a pistol, you have to send a copy to the sale to local law enforcement.
Yeah. We only have that in Virginia for machine guns. If you get a machine gun, you have to get on the state police registry.
Yeah. Which is really funny because every time I turned it into the local sheriff's department, the lady's like, "Oh, thanks," and kind of just throws it into a pile. Just like, "Thanks for making me come to do my job."
Yeah. So those are the 2 matches you're going to staff this year?
Yep. So far, if I can
any nationals in your agenda?
I'd love to shoot. I'd love to come down to CMP and shoot Carry Optics Nationals. The problem is vacation time because I'd staff it all day long.
I have no problem going back to CMP. I'm not going to Colorado, and I'm super bummed because So I shot the inaugural 2-gun nationals with Larry last year, and it was one of the best matches I ever shot. It was awesome. It was super fun. And just the logistics of getting to Colorado, I'm just not doing it. Flying out there, traveling, flying back. I don't want to do it.
Yeah, and it's what you got to drive. You got to fly there and then drive a couple hours still.
No.
And
so CMP is a 10.5-hour drive. I have no problem doing that. I'll drive 10.5 hours. I don't care.
That's funny because it's only a 10-hour drive for me.
No. So if Two Gun Nats was back at CMP, I'd be signed up already. I'd probably staff it, but I'm not going to Colorado this year.
Yeah,
maybe next year, the year after. I don't know.
My vacation slot, my vacation time at work, it would definitely suck up a lot of it, which is the shitty part is when you can't just say yes at this point. It's like,
right. I try to do it where I'm not wasting a lot of vacation time. Like if I can use a Saturday to travel and then shoot the match Sunday or whatever. Some of the stuff I'm just committed to work. I'll take vacation for, like I'm not a big steel challenge guy, not even into it, but the Area 8 Steel Challenge Championship, and level 3 match is only 30 minutes from my house. So, and I like the guy that runs it, so I have no problem helping him out, and I enjoyed myself last year. I got 2 trophies out of it, so I'll run it back this year and see what happens, but I don't routinely shoot Steel Challenge.
Yeah, neither do I. Yeah. And I think Area 5 Steel Challenge is in Indiana this year again, so I don't think I'll go to that, but
what surprised me is it's a ton of kids. Like it's a lot of junior shooters and kids,
Yeah, but it sucks is that some of them don't come, they don't stick with the sport. They don't transfer over to USPSA. They just, although that's what they like. If they like Steel Challenge, stand in a box, that's fine. It grows the Second Amendment, that's for sure.
Yeah.
They're stealing all the 22 though. New rule, if you're over 18, you can't shoot 22 in Steel Challenge anymore because...
And so it's a rimfire sport 100%, but I'm shooting 2 divisions as part of staff, and I'm the carry optics and PCC. I'm not even shooting rimfire.
Yeah, there you go. Who are you squatted with for Area 8 Steel Challenge anyway? Last year?
I don't even remember. I want to say Mike Valentine, his daughter, Kevin Ruiz and his son, maybe a couple other. I don't remember.
Yeah, and you honestly get around a lot to go. You staff matches like North Carolina Classic that YouTube viewers, you'll be able to see his shirt. But yeah, you did the North Carolina, you did nationals. What else do you do in 2021?
Area 8, Virginia State, North Carolina, Carry Optics Nationals, Area 6. And maybe one more. I think I staffed 5 or 6. Oh, the Area 8, but I think it's 6 total. The Area 8 Steel Challenge. So I staffed 5 or 6 majors.
That's a lot, honestly. I don't think. Other than the old geezers who are retired and travel around and do it, I don't think there's many active competitors who are that dedicated to donating their time.
Yeah, I take it super serious. If you don't have good officiating, you don't have a good sport.
Well, that's what we have a rule set for a reason.
Yep. So I'm constantly reading the rules, constantly studying. Next month, appreciate Tim Hitchick up at Quantico. He's putting on another CRO school. I missed his last one, so hopefully at the end of the month I'll pass CR school and become a chief.
Yep, with Gary Johnson.
Yep.
Gary's our local RI. We've talked about this on DMs, but he's our local RMI. Hopefully,
yeah, he taught my RO school.
I think he's the closest to like this area, I think too. I don't know where everyone else lives, but it's quite nice when Gary only lives an hour and a half from me.
Yeah.
So hopefully I think we're having our section meeting for the year, the first one, the in-person one for our section. He's supposed to be there, so hopefully they'll get a CRO class date looked at because we need it before the majors come up. We need more CROs and ROs. I kind of like, I see some clubs are doing a weird format where it's RO/CRO. So it's like a joint class kind of thing.
Yeah, I'm not sure. So everybody I've talked to and everything I've researched on the subject of CRO is like really heavy stage design. Like debugging stages and identifying problems with stages and just how to run a stage. Which makes sense because if you go to a major, the CROs are the ones that run run their stage that they're assigned. So,
yeah, and it's good. Like every CRO I've worked with has been a great knowledge. You know, they actually know their crap. Like, and things I didn't even know, they knew, and I looked it up in the rule book later. But yeah. So, what really made you want to become a CRO besides being able to probably run your own stage?
I shot my first nationals, PCC nationals, and the level of officiating there, my jaw was on the floor. And you know, it's a volunteer sport. I totally get it, but I went home thinking this is ridiculous and I can do this way better. So, and that's not to take away from anybody or whatever, but I mean, it is what it is, you know. This sport needs good officiating, and I said I can do a good job at that. So I'm super insanely motivated to be a good, you know, RO and CRO in the sport.
You ever think about becoming a range master?
That's a lot of dedication, you know. Maybe in retirement or something, but I don't know. You know, I work a full-time job. I don't know if I'd have time, you know. It's a huge dedication. What is like a 2-year program?
Yeah, but from what I'm getting, it's like at your own pace kind of thing too. So it's not like you've got to work some matches. You got to You got to work matches and then pretend to be essentially the RM, well, the range master under another range master for at least I think one. But
that might be something I'm interested in down the line, but not right now.
Yeah. Now, which was out of all these matches you've worked, which was your favorite match?
Area 8. Keanu Thai, David Ankeny, Paul Williams, all them guys. The year before, not last year, the year before.
2020.
That was the first level 3 I'd ever worked, and I got to see a ton of, you know, high quality shooters. You know, Phil Strader, Christian Seiler. I'm trying to think who else came through. I mean, there's a bunch of superstars that came through, and I was real blown away. But really, ROing, you know, better shooters has made me a better shooter. You know, watching them while I'm ROing them, you know.
Yeah, you've even made it on television once or twice, I'm assuming.
Yep.
Shooting USA.
Shooting USA, John Scouten. He does the coverage. Yep. Did you shoot nationals last year?
No, I did not get to shoot nationals, unfortunately.
No, it's a good time.
Hopefully I can. I don't know. I'm trying to see what my cards look like for 2022. If I can staff it and get in, or if I have to bite the bullet and pay for it, and because that's the shorter route. You know, that saves you on the vacation time away from work. But
I've done both. You know, I've shot it and just staffed it, so they both have their pluses and minuses. You know, I enjoy just showing up and shooting. I enjoy staffing it too. You know, a lot of these matches for the most part is the same people, so you kind of get like the same crew, you know.
Yeah.
So you see the same people, so that's enjoyable.
Yeah, and then you get to meet people and see people all across the country who come and show up, and
right.
And then it gives me an excuse if I'm in CMP. It gives me an excuse to go down to Pelham, Alabama, go see Brian and all them at Hunters HD Gold.
Yeah,
there at the lab.
Yeah, super grateful to Hunters HD Gold. You know, I'm gonna help carry the banner for them this year. He just sent me the new the Matrix frames. They're awesome. With the ruby lenses. So I use the ruby lenses. I borrowed Bill. Let me borrow a pair of ruby lenses for Area 8, and they're awesome. So I'm really pumped.
Did you make sure to rub your nuts all over Bill's glasses?
He tried to sell me them. They're like super beat. Sorry. They're like the demo pair. I'm like, dude, I want a new pair. If I'm gonna spend the money, I want a new pair. I don't want the beat up demo pair, you know.
Bill's a good dude. I think we both can say that. Bill's a really fucking good dude.
Yeah.
He's funny.
I just think it's funny, like, you know, me and Bill go back and forth on social, and like people think he's like so serious, and I'm like, I'm like, he messaged me and asked me if he could post this meme about me, and I was like, yeah, I don't care,
Right.
I think it's funny, like people think that he really, dislikes certain people and stuff. I'm like, whatever.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
They're not in on the joke,
Yeah. Not everything's super serious, y'all. Like that's one of those things. Life's not super serious. We got to have a chuckle every once in a while.
Yeah. I'm telling you, there's a ton of camaraderie in this sport. There's very few that are actually jerks,
Yeah, that's for sure. Now,
you see that picture of John?
John.
Hammer and Sear.
Oh yeah, the yes, that one today. That blew up today, y'all. That was funny as shit. What did he do?
He had a sty, not to put his business out there, but he had a sty, and I guess he got it lanced.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. I told him it was funny because I remember him posting one of the stories said like I have no safe word, and I messaged him. I thought the safe word was panda.
Yeah. That's funny.
John's a funny dude. Even though he loves them honchos, he's a funny motherfucker.
So I like the honcho, but I don't like the comp. It looks very flaccid.
Okay.
The comp that like droops at.
I guess I've never looked at the business end of a honcho. I think it's really cool that it can change between a 40 gun, a 9 minor, a 9 major, slide racker and stuff. I mean, that's really freaking cool.
Oh yeah, I mean it's got a ton of different options with it and stuff.
So I mean, it's like the best value, like best bang for your buck open gun. That's for sure.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But oh, damn it! No. I remember. Well, his gold one's pretty freaking cool though.
Oh yeah. But you're gonna spend some money, and it's gonna be a long wait too.
Yep. Even though they do sales all the time.
Yeah. Have you ever shot open?
No, I've not shot open. I've looked at plenty of open guns. I love ROing people with open guns. Everyone says it's really loud. I just like the concussion hitting me.
So the loudest open gun I've ever RO'd was Sean Taylor.
Oh yeah?
You know what I'm talking about?
Mm-hmm.
I can't even think of what gun he's got. Dude, I've RO'd thousands of shooters, and his is not even close. It's insanely loud.
Yeah. And I typically don't like to wear over the ear pro. I like the in-ear stuff, but no open gun ever really bothers me.
Yeah. I had a high dollar set of electronic in the earbuds, and I could never get them to work. And it was like a complete waste of money. And then I ended up getting the little Safariland $15 ones from Walmart, and those are the best. I wear them all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I have what did I get? I got those the Peltor EEP 100s. They're green and they work like a freaking champ. I tried using everyone swears by using these things called skull screws for the tips.
Yeah.
But they actually hurt my ear canals. So I was like, I'm going to go back to the regular foamy tips.
I'll wear double ear pro at rifle matches. It was the 5.56 and the AK stuff. The 7.62 was just awful.
Yeah, agreed. That's a good place for it. Even though it messes, the cheek, your cheek weld can be messed up with your ear pro, but
yeah,
that's what we live with, right?
Yep.
Now, Logan, what is your training schedule like? I see you're always shooting.
I was going, live fire probably once or twice a week, but just the weather's just been terrible, and I'm usually rain, sleet, or snow, I'm gonna go shoot, but I just haven't been up to it lately. So,
well, we do live in states that have weather. Like these people in Texas and Arizona don't understand what weather is.
So Virginia, I moved here in 2006. The weather was great all the time, and now it's gotten colder and colder.
Mm-hmm.
So, I've been doing a lot of dry fire at the house. Like I try to have a gun in my hand every single day. I mean, you have to practice. You are going to get out of this sport what you put into it. If you put in, half, unless you're just some, super talented and gifted person that doesn't have to practice, the average Joe is going to have to put in the work. And if you're not putting in the work, I mean, half-ass effort gets half-ass results,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like if you're not trying or you're not putting work in it, it's not going to be good. Or well, okay, I guess then don't expect good results. If you're not willing to put in good work, don't bitch about, well, I don't know why I didn't win B class at my my section match. I'm pretty good.
I'm not a naturally talented person. I have to work at it.
I mean, you're pretty natural at lifting weights, though. I mean, like you do get pretty swole.
Oh, I appreciate it. I'm in there all the time too. I jacked up my wrist, at the gym the other day, and I didn't know if I don't know what I did to it, but searing pain, and then no range of motion, and it's getting a little better, but it still hurts,
Is that your strong hand or your support hand?
Strong hand.
Oh, gotta go left.
I don't know what it's gonna feel like with recoil. Like it still kind of hurts doing dry fire, but I'm just kind of manning up through it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it's gonna feel like with recoil this weekend. I'm a little nervous.
Yeah, you have a match, or are you just gonna go practice?
I have a match, Sir Walter. Yeah,
if they don't cancel it.
If they don't cancel it, that's one of the best matches in the area, though. It's 8 stages. It's $20. Like all the top talent in the area shows up. It's like a level 2 every time you go there.
Yeah, like I think Blue Bullet Beaker shoots there.
Yeah, Jarrett Heinrich. Yeah.
Yep. Doesn't Jessica Hook shoots there all the time? I think.
Yeah.
That's all.
Todd Jarrett, Dylan Walker, Robert Walker, the Jason Roberts, Mike Valentine, the Jessies. Yeah, it gets a ton of heat. Jessica Doran.
Oh yeah, she's from there. Yeah, she'll shoot around there too. Matt.
A lot of the Bragg shooters show up. The SF guys from Bragg show up.
Right on. Yeah, because what's your favorite club to shoot at? If you had to pick one club that you shoot at regularly, what would be the one club you'd shoot always?
Sir Walter.
Yeah.
So my big ones in my area, the main ones that I shoot at, I started at GRB, so there's always love in my heart for GRB. Mm-hmm. F-Berg, Quantico, Sir Walter. I shoot at Pitt County a little bit, but those are my main ones. But I shoot more in North Carolina than I do Virginia. Like I'm constantly in North Carolina, competing.
Yeah. That's pretty. I mean, what is that, like 3 hours for you or 2 hours?
2 hours to Sir Walter in Oxford, and then like 2:15 to Pitt County.
Okay, so it's not a terrible drive. I've driven longer for a local.
I have too. So the longest I've driven for a local was champion Chris Tilley's match in Sanford, North Carolina, is 3:15.
Yep. Yeah. I've driven 3 hours for a local. Yeah.
I wouldn't do that again. And Chris has a decent match. I wouldn't travel that far again for a local. Shadowhawk in West Virginia is like 245. So my limit's probably about 230, 215, 230.
Yeah, because that's the thing about it. You shoot all day and then you got to drive home. I know for myself, like I can't drive by myself. I need a chatterbox next to me to keep me awake.
Yeah.
The heat or the air conditioner does not keep you awake in the when you're tired.
Yeah.
So what are you doing to keep them big muscles big?
Just heading to the gym, man. I'm actually down probably 10 or 12 pounds right now. I went almost over 2 years without getting sick. And then January 1, I had COVID. So it was like, fever, chills, body aches, all that stuff. But I was at my heaviest January 1st, and I was 226 pounds, and now I'm like 215, 214, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So now I'm trying to eat healthy, like fish and vegetables and stuff. I'm just kind of trying to keep going down. I'd like to lose a little bit more weight. The less weight I'm carrying around, the faster I'll run, hopefully, through a stage.
And you gotta get, next time you see Shane Cole, you just gotta flex with him, right?
Yeah, that's my dude, man. Shane's been nothing but gold to me since I met him.
Mm-hmm.
He's a really, really good dude. Great shooter.
Yeah, I would say if I could say if he's one of like the top 5 pro shooters, I'd love to meet in person.
No, I've run into him a few times. He's always first class, treated me great.
Didn't you have to give him a mic or something?
Twice.
So 2 different matches, right?
I gave him a mic at Area 8, and he's like, can you put an overlay on it? I was like, yeah, no problem. And I was like, sorry, man, it's just not there. And he was cool about it. And then at Nationals, the same thing.
Did he? Which Nationals was that? 2020 Nationals? Well, 2020, yeah, 2020 national.
I want to say it was. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's Carry Optics Nationals, but I don't know if he was there. And he shoots limited. What nationals was that? I know it was at 2 matches. They're all starting to blend together.
Could it have been Carry Optics Production and Frostproof?
Did he shoot production? I thought were they together or separate? 2020.
2020 they were together. Because then it
was there was production then. Yeah.
I mean, because I don't know, they shoot. He loves limited, which he's like the only limited shooter with a freaking Glock nowadays. It seems like.
Yeah.
Shit, those plastic fantastics are coming back in limited though.
Yeah.
It's too bad you can't run that 357 Sig though.
Production was mixed with Carry Optics at 2020 Nationals.
Yep.
Yeah. All I know is it's happened at 2 separate matches, and I'm like, God, man, I just have to keep giving you a mic.
Yeah. Well, at least you did your due diligence and then give them the overlay, and then was cool about it, you know.
Yep. I've RO'd thousands of shooters. I've, knock on wood, I've never had anybody like freak out over a call. They're always like, hey man, can you check it? And then, but I've never run into anybody that just like flipped out.
I had one. This was my first major ever running and we were running a shoot house, like a dark house. And this PCC shooter mic'd a 2-yard target. And he's like, there's no way. And then you just watch. I can distinctly remember him just transitioning and just pulling that trigger right between the 2 targets. I'm like, oh, that's where your bullet's like somewhere there. We called the RM. Luckily we didn't have to remove any targets. We just had to wait for the RM because he was only like 2 minutes away.
So this last PCC CO Nationals, I was the side RO. I wasn't on the timer, and a shooter, he was moving down the range with his PCC. It was pointed towards the ground, and his finger was in the trigger. It was blatant. Like, I'll never make a call unless I'm 100%. If I'm not 100%, I'll keep my mouth shut, But I was 100%. His fingers buried in the trigger guard, just hovering over top of the trigger, and he's moving, and he's not aiming, and he's not shooting. And, I DQ'd him for fingering the trigger while moving, And he was kind of shitty about it. And then he just like, wandered off. And then after the squad is done shooting, I've shaken everybody's hands. And I walked over to him and stuck my hand out, and he just folded his arms. He's like, I'm not doing it. I was like, okay. And like, he kept talking as I walked away. I'm like, I'm not going to stand there and beg you to shake my hand. So, I mean, that was really the only one I could think of that was just kind of, shitty about it,
Yeah. Luckily enough, I haven't had to DQ anybody yet, and I'm not looking to put notches on my timer either. So
I hate DQing people, but it's like I'm sure everybody has their little clique of shooters, and we're in group chat, and I have my group, and it's like the running joke, like I just DQ people, but it's like I've never DQ'd someone that didn't deserve it, but I just always end up having to DQ somebody like every match I work, for dumb stuff,
Yeah.
The worst one I ever had, it was at Quantico. So I'm RO in the squad, and the shooter comes up, and I look down at his gun, and there's a mag in his gun, and I haven't given him any commands yet. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, let's see what happens. And I said, make ready. And he pulls the gun out and comes to like low ready. And he just looks at me, and he's like a newer shooter, and I'm like, is your gun loaded? And he's like, yeah. I'm like, unload, show clear. I holster him, and I'm like, where did you load? And he like points like right behind where we were standing, and he's like right there. I'm like, when? He's like, a few seconds ago. I was like, that's nice. So I called Tim over, new shooter, Tim's match, all that stuff. Tim's the match instructor, and Tim explains to him why he's DQ'd and all that stuff, and then he like goes to the safety area and like loads his gun in the safety area and holsters to leave. I'm like, stop. I'm like, unload, choke. I'm like, you can't do that. Somebody's like, what are you gonna do? DQ him twice? So that was pretty wild.
Yeah,
I take no pleasure in DQing people. I really don't. I'm not out to get people. I just did.
No, and it definitely sucks when it's either. It sucks no matter what, but it definitely sucks if it was either the first stage of the match or their last stage of the match. Be like,
I definitely think it's way worse if it's the last.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because if it's the first, it's like you haven't wasted a single bullet yet. Who cares? You know, you pack up and leave. But if you're super tired and your feet hurt and you shot all day, or maybe you're having a good match and all of a sudden you get DQ'd, that sucks.
Yeah. Now, what do you see as the most common DQable offense?
180, 100%.
Yeah. That's what I thought.
180, finger in the trigger. Those are the big ones. Drop guns. I haven't seen too many drop guns, but it has happened a few times.
Yeah, I think it well, I guess if the gravel doesn't like you, it'll help you drop your gun. But
you know, accidents happen. I don't touch on this too much, you know, but I'm telling you, what pissed off a lot of people is the stupid Dairy Queen photo after. You know, is the photo is what did him in.
Mm-hmm. Well, and even the response on that was, I think even the comments on that photo were not.
He's just arguing with people and shitty about it. You know, if he had just been contrite, you know, accidents happen, mistakes happen. It's the way you handle it and respond to it.
Oh yeah, definitely.
If that had been me that had dropped the gun and done that, I'd have been super embarrassed, super apologetic. You know, I wouldn't be getting Dairy Queen cheesing the camera, smiley photos, and all that shit. You know, but it is what it is.
Right.
You know, he's serving his punishment out, and I expect him to be back in a couple months, and hopefully with a new attitude.
Yep, he's got 7 months almost to the day.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
I think he'll be back, and it's fine.
Yeah. I'm glad they at least give him the year to cool off, and then let him reappeal for it. So it's not like lifetime ban forever. So
yeah, well, same thing with Flowers. I'm glad to see him back. You know, people can say what they want, but you know, he was doing a ton for the sport, regardless of how you feel about what he did.
Have you seen him back at matches yet, or
no? And I never shot with him. He's too far south, South Carolina Belt and Gun Club. It's like 7 hours from me. So
yeah, that'd be a long drive.
Yeah.
Now, shooting all these matches, do you do anything special for your match day nutrition?
I try not to eat. So, if I eat, something else is gonna happen right after.
Oh, the deuce, right?
So I just try to, you know, stay hydrated, drink water, all that stuff. I hate when matches break for lunch, and they do it all the time. And you know, Ted Murphy has heard me bitch about this, but I wish matches offered a shoot through for competitors that do not want to break for lunch. Two things happen when you break for lunch. It never fails. I'm the first shooter after lunch to go, and then I get super cold waiting to shoot.
Yeah, because that middle of the alphabet, you know, M through S is kind of, you're going first at some point.
Not to throw Battle for the North Coast under the bus, but they broke for lunch or whatever, and I was the first shooter back from lunch, and then they iced me. The ROs couldn't find the tablet, so I'm in the make ready for like 10 minutes while they're trying to find a tablet, and then I just totally bombed the stage.
That is no bueno. That is no bueno.
I'd prefer to just shoot through, you know. I don't see what the big deal is, you know. If you got a squad that doesn't want to break for lunch, just let them shoot. Find an RO to run them. Yeah,
because it wouldn't be too terrible off. I mean, it's definitely nice because but maybe if Matt Hopkins gets elected, he can get water on the bays and porta potties on the bays. You gotta have them.
Luckily I wasn't there for the low cap nationals, but it sounded like it was awful, like flooded porta potties.
Ugh. It seemed like they got their porta potty shit together for at least nationals in October. So
I will say this: every nationals I've been to, the bathrooms were decent and they had food. So I've never experienced what they experienced.
Yeah. Did you get actual catered food, or did you get McDonald's?
So this last nationals, I got catered food, and then they came in with the McDonald's after, but I did get it. It was good. Yeah. So they didn't have an open bar, which I was surprised about. Like I thought they would have, you know, like when was it? One of the nationals we worked, they had coolers of beer for the staff, and I was a little bit surprised they didn't. You know.
Yeah. And you've had a staff every time you've worked nationals. You've had like a staff dinner, right?
Yeah.
where they give away a couple guns and some other shit?
You know what? USPSA, every match I've staffed at the nationals level is taking good care of me.
Yeah, and we've even talked offline about, how easy it is to, get your hotels taken care of, get reimbursed for your flights, and
I think there's a lot of political stuff going on with USPSA, and I wade into it a tiny bit, but I don't get super deep into it. I mean, at the end of the day, I just want to shoot and have fun. But I'm telling you, in the upper echelon of USPSA, and I'm not shilling for them or anything, but staff and nationals and stuff, they've always taken good care of me.
Yeah. Well, and you're willing to come back too, which is a good thing. I mean, and you're not anciently retired, so I mean.
Yeah.
Now, besides CO Nats this year, what other majors are you looking forward to?
Area 6, Area 8. I'm not gonna get into the politics of it, but I'm not staffing Virginia State this year. I've staffed it 2 years in a row. I'm not staffing it. It's got some different people running it, and I'm on the fence about shooting it. It's my home state. I would hate to miss it. If I can get my group of friends that I normally shoot with, if I can get them all in the squad, I might shoot it, but I'm not staffing it. I am going to staff Delmarva. I am going to staff Maryland. David Ankeny, great match director. Never had a problem with him. He's running Maryland, I'm pretty sure. I get him confused. Keanu Sai is in charge of something or whatever with that, but Keanu's a good dude. Dave Ankeny's a good dude. But I'm not staffing Virginia State. It's not going to happen. I'll shoot it maybe.
Right.
So
that'd be fun. I mean, shooting majors are always fun, I feel. Even though
I think I have nine majors on the list. I don't know if I'm going to be able to hit all of them, but I think that's the wish list schedule for this year is 8 or 9.
Now, speaking of majors, now, how do you feel about majors opening pretty much all up on the January 1st? How does your wallet feel?
It's tough, and then sometimes I just wait a little too long, and then, the days aren't lining up where I want to get in, and I'm just like, whatever. I wanted to shoot Area 7 again, but it's 10 hours to New Hampshire. It's like 14 to Maine, so I don't know if I'm going to be able to make that match or not.
If you take some time off, just carpool with Bill, stay in his shaggin' wagon.
I really just need to suck it up and experience flying armed, flying, with a gun and all that stuff. I don't like logistics. I don't like doing it, like the whole idea of traveling, on an airplane with my gun, and losing my gun or having to mail my ammo. Like the entire logistics of it just turns me off.
Oh yeah, I totally agree. I'd much rather, if I can drive it, I'll drive it. Luckily, my wife is pretty decent. She loves to drive, so I get to nap in the car.
Yeah.
That might change because she's finally getting into USPSA hopefully this year.
What division?
That she doesn't know because she is she doesn't have the best hand strength yet to shoot. Like she shoots like 380 and 22, but you can't shoot 380 in any division for USPSA. So I'm like, all right, we got to find you a gun. So it pretty much puts her into PCC, or I don't know what other gun, but I told her we'd figure something out and get her something going. So
those some locals will let junior shooters and new shooters shoot like 22 and just score it. Whatever the division, like production with the 22 or whatever. So I've had a few junior shooters that have squatted at locals that we just let them shoot with the 22.
Yeah, and I definitely am not going to teach her. Well, I won't coach her, but I'm not going to feel bad if I'll have somebody else actually mentor her and give her advice because I don't want that hassle of getting yelled at for telling her.
Yeah.
But yeah, hopefully I'll get her into the competition season in 2022. She's buying her own primers though. Yeah, so I'm thinking probably get her. It'll probably be a PCC. I've got a buddy. We're not too far. We're 3 hours from Chicago, and I've got a buddy who has a bunch of different test guns at his gun shop. So we can probably go down there and find something that fits her hands pretty well. The worst part is, I guess it's not even getting the gun. It's all the tertiary shit you need. like the belt, the holster, the mag pouches, the
Yep.
gun carts. I mean, shooting PCC, you got almost got to have a gun cart, right?
It helps.
Baby strollers are life.
Unless you're Lena or Josh Rolick, they just carry this massive backpack, get a cart.
Yeah, well, shit, I would have assumed like Lena would have rolled up in like to nationals with like a gator or something.
No, she always got a massive gun bag, and she's always got her dog with her too.
And was her mom with her this year?
No, I didn't see her. I just saw the dog.
Doggos. There was a couple cute dogs at that because that little baby Malinois.
Mm-hmm.
You saw that little bugger? He's so cute.
Who had him? There was somebody with a little Frenchie too. One of the sponsors at their booth.
Oh fuck, I don't know, but I know Full Metal Jessie has a Frenchie. Follow her on Instagram or see that any at all? It's a cute little dog. Usually, it's funny because I had Coy Win on and we talked to corgis. But we love corgi. That's our thing. Corgi. I don't know. Dogs are cool, but I digress. Now, you ever thinking about? Well, no, don't ask that. That's a dumb question because we already talked about that. Anything you're going to change up in your training for this season compared to last year?
Work on more movement, and you see the Instagram dry fire videos. It's always about the reloads, and that looks cool and all that stuff. But I mean, you're really, for the most part, only reloading unless you're shooting some stupid division. You're only, reloading once a stage, if that,
Mm-hmm.
But everybody practices the reloads, but it's really the movement. The movement and the transitions is where you're going to save your time.
Yeah, or it's always the stationary reloads. Like now, if I was going to practice stationary reloads, I'm going to transfer to a weaker strong hand because that's typically where you're going to see a standing reload.
Right. Or, some of the classifiers and stuff, but I hate classifiers so much, and it's like people are like, oh, you sandbag. And I'm like, I laugh and go along with that, but I have never sandbagged a stage. I've actively tried my best on every stage I've ever shot. And I just don't do well on classifiers. Mm-hmm. Somebody calls me a sandbagger. I'm like, I literally just signed up for a classifier match at Quantico to try and move up. if I'm sandbagging, why am I actively shooting classifier matches? It just hasn't worked out,
Oh, yeah.
Long-term goals, just like everybody else. I want to make GM, but it's just not happening for me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think we all try to do our best. Or when it's kind of funny. I've been to a couple classifier matches, and the people want to move up, right? But they put these strong hand, weak hand standard stages in, and I'm like, that's not how you're gonna class up. You want like 8, depending on what division you're in, you want like 18 series classifiers or more. Like,
so Tim did 20. I think there's 119, and then he did a bunch of 20s and a 21. I thought, PCC. I was like, man, I'm gonna hit master, and like I struggled.
Mm-hmm.
And like stuff that I thought I shot fast was like 88, 89%. I'm like, my God, what do I got to do?
Right.
It's got to, I just think that the classifier system has become such, spray and pray, and corrupted. I hate to say, but corrupt, too many people have heroed or zeroed it, and the hit factors are too high,
Yeah, even with like the current, I don't want to really touch on it, but the current situation going around in North Carolina and on the internet, it's like they skewed the data, and it sucks for everybody else trying to actually move up, which sucks because it's the guy coming out of D class trying to get into C class, or the C class guy going to B. Like that's what's fucking them up, because then it's probably their skills too, but I mean, I don't know. Some of those hit factors are crazy.
Yeah,
like TikTok and El Prez.
And my thing too, is about the classification, whatever. You know what? You make GM or whatever the wrong way, then come to a match and I beat your ass. What's it matter?
Exactly. So,
yeah. I'm a B class and open, and A class in CO, and I beat plenty of M's and GMs all the time. So,
yeah. Now, speaking of open, you just throw the 357 top on there, and
so when I first switched to open, that's what I did. Now I have dedicated guns. So I have a dedicated open gun and a dedicated CO gun.
Now, do either of them play as a backup gun, or do you have four Legions?
I have two.
Okay.
I have one CO gun, one open gun. That's it.
Oh, because that'd be kind of cool. I've seen some people drill and tap their Legion frames.
Yeah.
Make it a frame mount.
Yeah, Dan Feltyberger is running open Legion. TJ Myers. I think there's 3 that I've seen. Somebody else.
Yep, I've got a friend, Tony. His wife Jackie, she has an Icarus frame that's tapped for open. That's kind of cool.
I used to get a lot of shit when I first started shooting that 357 Sig and open. I was getting a lot of shit from people. They're like, "You can't do that, blah blah blah. That's not major power factor." I'm like, dude, it's 124 grains moving at 1,400 feet per second. It's screaming out of the gun. It's like when you see it and you hear it, you'll know it's major. And then I went and shot Area 7. I shot open major at Area 7. It was 171 power factor on the chrono. So I was there. I shot a level 3 major with it, and it passed chrono. So what do you want to say now?
Right. That's a spicy meatball.
Yeah. I'm doing myself no favors by shooting open with that gun. It's slide ride dot 20 round mags. You know, guys with 30 round big sticks and open are shooting stages where there's no reload for them, and me, I got to reload. You know. I mean, there's all sorts of no compensator, no gas pedal, none of that stuff. So, depending on who shows up or whatever, I beat some good shooters with that gun. I'm competitive with it some places. I mean, I'm not going to win open. You know what I mean? But
yeah. Now, are you besides lifting, are you putting any training into like movement or agility or vision?
I've been doing the treadmill and stuff more, just trying to lean out. I'm too heavy for the sport, So I'm hoping to lose some more weight and be a little bit lighter and faster.
Yeah, that's always a good thing. My goal, I definitely need to get in a little bit more of a better physique for season, but it sucks. My gym around here is attached to the hospital. So they got a full mask policy. Well, it's owned by the hospital. So they got a full mask policy, and it's like, it really just sucks to try to go do some cardio or do anything really in there. And then you're like,
I'm not getting any younger. I'll be 39 in October. I mean, I got to get as much out of the sport I can while I'm still young.
I mean, no, you don't. Todd Jarrett's still kicking it.
Well, remember how I talked earlier about how just you're naturally talented? I'm not saying Todd don't work for it, but that dude's naturally talented too.
Yeah, that's true.
And so I squad with him all the time. It's so weird because he looks so slow, and you're like, God, that looks slow. And then after, it's like he beat you by like 5 seconds, and you're like, how?
It's because, well, I don't know. Maybe the timer.
He's super duper efficient. He does not waste movement, anything. Like as soon as that timer goes beep, he is busy and he is working until he's done shooting.
Oh yeah, that's for sure.
Have you ever?
Go ahead.
He's just super duper efficient. It looks slow, but it's not.
Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody about Todd. It was like, what was that? What were we talking about? Oh, they didn't believe that Todd was on super squad level still, and I'm like, what are you talking about? You see where he places at nationals? He wasn't that far off a super squad this year for open.
At two gun nationals last year, Max Leograndis won and Todd came in second. I mean, and they had a ton of heat at that match. Yeah. That dude's a beast. He's in the top 20 at like every major. And I think he's like 50, 56, 57.
No. He's that old?
Yeah.
He looks older. He looks older than that, so it's okay. Do you ever get lost in how he talks?
He just started winning senior titles in like the last year or two.
Yeah.
Was 55.
Yeah. I always love it when I hear him on a video or something, how he talks. Just it's so fun. Got that accent. We love you, Todd.
So when you when you first start shooting with him, and if he doesn't like know you or like your stuff, he'll give you like crazy stage plans.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he'll feed you crazy stage plans, and he makes it seem like that's what he's gonna do, and then when he shoots the stage, it's completely different from what he told you.
I mean,
he's fooled me with that a couple times. I don't fall for that no more.
that'd be hell.
He's
I'd
not
let him
out
do
to
that
get
one.
you. He's not out to get. He's just having a good time.
Oh yeah, everyone's got to have a good time. I mean, that's why we do this thing, right? We spend all this money and time and shooting.
I've seen him do some goofy stage plans, and I'm like, Todd, you're crazy, and they don't work out.
Right. Now, yeah. Now I kind of want to talk a little bit more about your nationals experience this year. Well, 2021. What zone did you like the most?
Was it zone 1 or 2? It was my style of shooting. I can't remember which zone it was. It was one of the lower zones, but it was my style of shooting. It was a lot of moving and shooting and stuff. I'm not a fast shooter. It's like where I make up for slow shooting is on the movement and stuff. I usually always have pretty solid stage plans, and what I've always liked is when I come up with stage plans and then I see the pros later and they shot the same stage plan that I shot, and I didn't talk to them or anything like that. So I've never really struggled with the stage plans. It's always with the shooting. I don't know what it is. I can't mentally get myself out of like shoot, score. I just need to call my hits and go.
Mm-hmm.
So that's been a real struggle for me. But I make up for slow shooting with movement, but I wish I could shoot faster, and hopefully that eventually is something that I work out. So, but anyway, that whatever that zone 1 or 2 was my style of shooting. Zone 3 was a carnival. I did not enjoy zone 3 at all. It was the ammo can stage was cool, but it had like a quarter.
You worked it?
Yeah. I actually, up until the third day, I was like the number 2 high hit factor on that stage. It was Shannon Smith, then me, and then the last day, everybody just. I think I finished like 64th overall on that stage, or 64th in carry optics, I think. And no, but that zone 3 was nothing but carnival. In my mind, dumb shit. It's a quarter IPSC swingers. Shoot the entire stage freestyle, and then the last 3 targets are support hand only. It had the support hand reload, all that stuff. And I just went into it. That's not my style. I did terrible in that zone.
Yeah. Do you blame Larry? Because wasn't Larry there with you?
Yeah, no. Larry's always been a good teammate. We push each other. We talk a little bit of shit to each other and get each other going. I'm Larry's biggest cheerleader. The entire time he shot, I was, pom poms, go Larry, and pumping him up and keeping his head in the game. And that's what a good teammate does.
Yeah,
I was in his ear the entire time, just pumping him up, and he won high master.
Now, do you think shooting staff? Well, I'm assuming shooting staff, you have that disadvantage because you're not a competitor. You're not really you have to worry about scoring.
No, we had embedded ROs.
Oh, so that's kind of nice then. So
yeah, what is his name? Danny Minter and his wife. Danny Minter and his wife. They were a first class, 100% perfect. It was one of the best, squads. I've enjoyed it.
That's pretty cool. I didn't remember you guys had embedded ROs, so that's kind of nice.
Yeah. You're starting to see more like high ranking competitors shoot staff day. I hate to call it an advantage, but it's very laid back. I just feel like the pressure's kind of off shooting on staff day, if that makes sense.
Oh yeah, or you might not have, for at least me, in my area, it seems like there's no heat on staff day. Everyone's like the old guys, and you're like, all right, well, I guess I'm competing against myself on the squad.
I don't want to say competitive advantage. I don't want that to be misconstrued. I'm not saying there's a competitive advantage to shooting on staff day. I don't think that it's being scored differently or people are being treated differently. I don't want to say that. It's just
there's less stress.
There's less stress. It's just like it's a laid back, element to it. I can't explain it. I think staff day is less stressful than shooting on actual match day.
Oh, I'd agree with that. That's for sure. But yeah, Now, if you could have one stage back from nationals, which one would have that been?
I didn't feel like I did too awful on, I mean, I could have done better, but no, I can't really think of one that I was like, damn, I really wish I had that one back. It was like all like little ticky tack stuff,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't pinpoint one stage where I was just like, God, that was awful.
Yeah.
I'd have to go back. I'd have to go back and look. I can't think of one right now where I'm like, God, that was terrible.
Yeah.
They're all kind of mildly terrible.
Right. Yeah. It's like, oh, you had, it took a little long transition or have to re-engage. You always wish you could have those kind of things back. Now, what was the goofiest stage plan you saw working the ammo can stage?
I'm gonna throw him right under the bus. Zach Smith. He strapped a bungee cord to the ammo can, and that thing was bouncing off his leg like a friggin' rock. His leg was all sore after, and he's like, "That was so dumb."
I guess he gets what he reaps what he sows, right? I mean,
that was the worst stage plan I saw.
Yeah.
Big floppy 25-pound ammo can smacking you in the leg every time you moved.
Now, what was the better plan? Was the better plan to set it down for PCC?
It worked out for Max Leograndis. He took a stage win on that. If I had to do it all over again, I still wouldn't have done it that way. Tom Castro moved through it pretty fast. I don't know if all his hits were there or not, but I remember him going through it pretty fast. Luigi Lee was the first one I saw drop the can. He dropped it and took off, but his I think he's one of the fastest time, but it's a 40 point penalty to leave the can, so it didn't work out for him.
Because those are how many targets was it? Two double stack swingers or something?
No, just 2 swingers.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, for 40 points per. Yeah, 10 points per shot. Gotcha. Yeah.
Yeah, 10 per shot.
Now, was that difficult to reset?
No, it wasn't that bad. You get a little bit tired after because you're pulling on the 2 cables and all that stuff. But we rotated through. Me, Larry, and Danny Zetnet. Is it? I can't think of his. He's a Russian CRO. He speaks Russian. He sounds like Teddy KGB from Rounders. Hey, that's man his money. Oh, John Milkovich.
There you go.
Danny's Zletnik or something. Yeah, me, Larry, and Danny rotated through resetting it, so it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, so it wasn't too bad. Now, how many did anyone ask for an overlay on those swingers?
Yeah, there was a couple.
Just weren't there. That's a long run though. What was that like? What 35-yard, 40-yard run or something?
It was probably closer to 50.
Oof.
There's a couple. I won't throw anybody under the bus. There's a couple names that asked for overlays on the swingers, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
I
kind of wish.
Those swingers were probably about 15 to 20 yards, and they were kind of zippy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really think you shot a perfect double on a 20-yard swinger that's moving pretty fast?
Well, remember, it's not a quarter IPSC swinger. Remember, so I mean, like they got to.
I'm not saying it's impossible, and it's the shooter's right to request an overlay. But come on, man.
Yeah, I mean, they got to. The people asking for overlays like that. No, they don't. No, they don't got it on there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what else? There's no, I forgot about what. No, well, it'll come to me in like 20 minutes, I'm assuming, but
as soon as you turn it off, you'd be like, oh yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly how it goes. It's not bad though. It's never a bad thing. But damn it. I've totally lost that train of thought. We were talking about swingers. Oh, did you have any experience with the new popper calibration while at nationals?
Yeah. There was actually he's actually the Area 3 director.
Oh yeah.
He hit it and it looked like a pretty decent hit and it didn't budge. we stayed on top of those poppers the entire time. We had some wind issues where they were getting knocked down, but like every couple, shooters or whatever, we were checking to make sure that they weren't heavy. But anyway, so he had a good hit. It was like top left of the calibration zone. It didn't budge. So we called the RM. The RM shot it down, reset it, shot it down again, and it was a miss.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now did
I still, I disagree with that whole thing. Just shooting it twice doesn't prove anything. As an RO, if I can walk up to a paper target and go, that's an A or that's a C or that's a D, why can't I go up to a popper and say, hey, that's a good hit in the calibration zone, score it?
Mm-hmm. Right.
I don't understand why we can't do that.
Right. Well, and I agree with you on that, because that'd make it a hell of a lot easier. I guess the only issue would be if it was the popper was an activator. I guess then that would, well, I guess it'd still make it a reshoot though, if it looks, as long as you're painting your steel every time.
I mean, if you're unsure of the call, then offer a reshoot. If you're 100% that it's in the calibration zone, score it and move on.
Exactly.
But it's this idea that, well, I knocked it down once, I'm gonna try it again, and then okay, it knocked down twice, it's good. And then you try to find the person that set it up. I don't know. Yeah. It's just like that, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing about it and talking about it, but like JJ at Low Cap Nationals, he hits the friggin' target dead center on the steel and it doesn't budge. And then the RM comes down and knocks it over and it's a miss. Like, he didn't miss that. You can look at the target. He hit it dead center.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a scoring strike dead center of the popper. How is that a miss?
Right. Well, and then the next shooter after that gets a reshoot because it happened to them too. But they got lucky where it didn't fall down.
Yeah. To me, that's not, there's no competitive equity doing that, but it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. All I can remember is just Bill's face on the popper with those big eyes and the big mouth. God, he needs to turn that into a shirt. God, Bill, I know you're listening to this. Make that a shirt. I don't know. I have all these random ideas sometimes through the day, and I'm like, I need to write this down. I'm going to forget about it. But
that's my biggest problem getting older is I neglect to write stuff down, and then it's just gone.
It is what it is, I guess, right?
Yep.
Now, Logan, I'm kind of curious. What is something that you would like to tell past Logan about shooting?
Speed the hell up. Yeah. I look back at my old stuff and I'm like, why are you moving so slow? Why are you shooting so slow? Why are you reloading so slow? And then, the slow down, get your hits. I hate that. It's such garbage, speed up. Eventually one of two things is going to happen when you speed up. Either you're going to break through and you're going to adapt and adjust to that new speed, or you're going to get frustrated that it's not working out and you're going to turn into a turtle.
Mm-hmm.
But there is no benefit to going slower. So it's speed up, speed everything up, adjust, and if I go to reload at a certain speed and I'm missing it, 7 out of 10 times, but the fundamentals are there and I keep working at it and keep doing that speed, eventually it's going to turn into, 3 misses or 2 misses. And the idea is not to never fail. I mean, yeah, that'd be nice, but it's unrealistic. The realistic goal is to turn those failures into less failures and less failures, and eventually it's few and far between. But you got to push to do that,
Oh yeah,
that's like I put that out there the other day. It's like people that hit me up and say, "Oh, you only post the good reloads." Like no, I don't want to post a video of me failing 100 times in a row, but I'm not afraid to post my fails, and it's not gimmicky one-offs. These are standards that I've built up from putting in a ton of work. So it was like a minute-long video, and I hit like 4 out of 5 reloads at fast speed,
Yeah, you only messed up, I think, maybe on the last one or almost the last one.
That's the goal.
Mm-hmm. That's why I do, I don't know, every once in a while I'll go live and dry fire live. Because then people can see, oh, I'm not fucking perfect, nor do I claim to be. I don't know. I hate that stigma of Instagram. Only post the hot shit, right?
I post garbage.
It's like...
And I have bad days too, dude. Like, I'll go to dry fire and I'll miss like every reload like 8 times in a row. Mm-hmm. It's just I'm not there mentally, like my head's not in it. I'm half-assing it, and anytime that stuff happens, like, I'll go back to the fundamentals and like I'll do like the pause right before the reload, and I'll just work the pause I won't even reload. I'll just work that pause right before I reload. Try to break it down into its basic fundamentals, or slapping the mag and just pulling the mag out, like break it down into each piece of the movement.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and I'll work on that.
I do that as well. And what else? Sometimes if I'm not mentally in it, I'll just pack the shit up. I'm like, I don't need to waste my time or get frustrated. I'll just put it away and be like, yeah, I got 3 minutes in, and then I said, fuck it.
But I try to never end on a bad rep. Like, it's just like basketball. I'm super into basketball. If you're at the basketball court, you never end on a bad shot. You never end on a miss. So I try to end on a good rep if I'm going to quit.
Right. Yep. Exactly. And then it's like, yep, done. Putting this up. I'm going to go dick off on my phone now or something.
Yep.
Yeah. But now another thing is, if you say you miss those 100 reloads or whatever it is the thing is, do you then diagnose what you're doing wrong? And do you figure out what you're doing wrong? Like, if I miss a reload, it's like, I know I didn't see the mag well.
Most of the time that I miss a reload, it's how I grabbed it from the pouch.
Mm-hmm.
So if I'm not deep on the pouch with my index finger, and then when I present it and I have a lower grip on the mag, you're losing that control. I want to be high up on the mag with my index finger, bullet tip to fingertip. Fingers meet fingers, all that stuff. So usually my mistake is how I grab it from the pouch.
Right. That's interesting. Now, which is nice, because you're at a level now where you can kind of diagnose you've been diagnosing your shooting and like your fundamentals, and you're like, I mean, it's also why video is so important, right? It's not just for the gram, it's for analyzation. Now, how much time do you actually spend analyzing like video that you take?
Nonstop. And my wife teases me all the time. She's like, you don't have an Instagram for everybody else, you have it for yourself. I just watch my own shit over and over again. Right.
I know she probably thinks it's silly, but it always is funny when she's like, what are you doing? I love those videos. Those videos are funny too.
So that's like a series. We started it one day, like I come up with ideas and kind of like game plan them with her,
Mm-hmm.
But we started that "what are you doing" thing. I really enjoy that. I feel like it's a little series. People expect it when they see it.
Mm-hmm. It's always funny though. So if she's probably listening, she won't listen to this, but you can tell her that I enjoy those. Those are fun.
Oh, appreciate it. that unloaded the mags was so depressing. Like that was a skit, but it was so realistic. I was like so frustrated. I was like, come on, another freaking canceled match.
Yeah, and then she's got to rub it in, which is like, no. I hate canceled matches, but if it's too cold, I don't know why they canceled your match, but if it's too cold, I'm like, I'm not going. It's not worth it.
Rain, sleet, or snow, I try to compete.
I don't know. I've got a limit. If there's snow on the ground, it's not fucking happening. And it's not that I don't like shooting in the cold. It's just like, I just get too frustrated and be like, this isn't my level of performance. I'm like, I'll be like, I'd get frustrated at that. It's like, I know, because I could shoot better, but the weather would be just pissing me off and I wouldn't be able to disconnect it.
Yep.
Now, Logan, we're near the end of the show, but we need to pay the people who pay the bills. Well, I mean, you pay your bills, but I mean, like, who's supporting you, and who do we need to plug?
M Carbo Triggers on Instagram, Hop.Munitions on Instagram, Frank Castle Customs on Instagram, Huckleberry Tactical, and Hunter's HD Gold.
They all do some good work. It's nice that they support you and help you out. I mean, without those people,
I'm eternally grateful for all of their support and their trust in their brand. At the end of the day, they're putting their trust in me to represent and carry their banner. So.
Mm-hmm. It definitely is nice when you get those. You get nice relationships with companies like that, and I think that's what we all try to strive for, is have good companies that we can work with. And
my thing too is, like, I have a full-time job and all that stuff. I'm super grateful, but I'm not in partnerships with companies I don't believe in either.
Mm-hmm.
Or they give me their logo and I'm paying for it, or whatever. Here's a online code for 5% off. And I'm not mad at people that do that stuff. It's, you know, not what I'm into. So full support, full trust. I believe in the sponsors that I have. You know, I have good relationships with them. So
yeah, and that's always definitely nice to have those good relationships, because I know myself, and I kind of want the same thing too. I wouldn't sell it to you. If I wouldn't use it myself, I'm not going to try to promote it to you because it's not worth my time, and then you just get called a shill. So,
yep.
now, Logan, where can they find you on the internet?
At 357 Souls on Instagram.
Yep, you can watch all of his funny skits, his shooting videos, the bloopers, him playing Dark Souls if he really feels like it and cries about dying, or playing God of War.
I need to get back into that. I started it up the other day and just haven't had time. So I think I'm avoiding it because it's really a lot harder than I thought it was going to be.
Getting your ass kicked. That's a fun
It's
game.
brutal. It's way harder than I thought it was going to be. So now I'm avoiding it.
There you go. Well, Logan, thank you for coming on. It's been a blast and fun. I think the listeners will get a bunch out of this one too, even though we rambled a little bit, and it's all good. So I want to thank the listeners for checking this episode out. Until next time.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Yep. All right, y'all. See you on the next one. Where's the damn button? My mouse, it's over here.